Should felons on parole be allowed to vote in California elections? And what about 17-year-olds? Should they be allowed to cast ballots? As News Channel 3's Tom Tucker reports, voters will answer both questions when deciding Propositions 17 and 18 on the November ballot.
When it comes to voting in California, convicted felons on parole are not allowed to cast ballots under current state law. But if voters approve Proposition 17 on the November ballot, felons on parole will be allowed to vote. Shay Franco-Clausen, campaign manager for Yes on 17, and others who support the measure, say it's one way to encourage parolees to fully re-enter society.
If we're advocating for a fair and transparent democracy that includes the voices of everyone in the community, we can't have those results if we don't include a pocket of people that are here in California.
Proposition 17 is a constitutional amendment placed on the ballot by a vote of the California legislature. If approved, the measure would add the state to 19 others where felons on parole are allowed to vote, according to Ballotpedia. Opponents argue parole periods are part of the sentences received by violent criminals that should also be served before voting privileges are restored. They also point to politics.
The majority of felons who register to vote register Democrat, and I'm talking 61% at least. In close races, that could make the difference in a congressional seat. We've seen it before out here in California.
Proposition 18 would allow 17-year-olds to vote in California's primary elections and special elections. That's if they turn 18 by the time the general election rolls around. Prop 18 is also a constitutional amendment, also placed on the ballot by the state legislature and authored by Bay Area Democrat Kevin Mullen. If passed by voters, the state would join 18 states and the District of Columbia, where 17-year-olds are allowed to vote in primaries.
Well, if they're willing to be in the service and die for the country, then they should be able to vote.
I didn't get to vote until I was 21, and it sure didn't hurt me all those years. I just don't see why we're pushing the issue to get them younger and younger.
In Palm Desert, Tom Tucker, News Channel 3.